Hi everyone at NZCT Chamber Music Contest. My name is Steve Cowan. I'm a guitarist based in Montreal in Canada, and this year I'll be doing some online coaching as part of the contest. In this video tip, I'd like to briefly discuss the idea of understanding your role in an ensemble or in a particular piece of music. So a question I always ask myself when learning a new piece is, in each section, what is the role of my instrument or my part? Am I the melodic focus? Am I the underlying pulse? Am I a background texture? Or something else entirely? Depending on the piece, this role could change rather rapidly. So it could be important to consider it in each phrase or each moment of the piece, and whether that would require you to play more proactively in a leading role as the main focus, or reactively as a follower, more of a supporting role. So first let's discuss a scenario where your part is without question the main focus. Perhaps you have the iconic melody in a very famous piece. You must lead in this situation. To lead means to play with accurate rhythm, with a full and defined sound, and with clear beginnings and endings to your phrases. While we all move a different amount when we play, depending on our instruments and our personalities, I try as a leader to evoke the pulse with my body language, to sort of communicate not only with what I'm doing with my hands and what the other members hear, but what they may see or feel by being in sort of a physical space with me based on my body movement. Another thing I like to do as a leader is to play the part, at least in the first few run-throughs, rather boldly, almost metronomically. This helps sort of everyone else follow you very clearly, helps line up the pieces of the puzzle. And from there, once you sort of have everything in line, you as the leader could round off those edges with some more interpretive nuances, as long as you're communicating them clearly to your partners, both verbally and musically. Another situation where you must lead regardless of whether you are the melodic focus or an accompaniment role is if you are manipulating time as an ensemble and you have the fastest subdivision of the beat. What I mean by that is, even if you're playing an accompaniment role, if the group is trying to do a ritardando and everybody has 8th notes, but you have 16th notes, you need to lead there. It's going to be much easier for the slower groups to follow you than vice versa when you're not playing strictly in time. Just a little tidbit that someone told me once that really helped. So now let's maybe flip the coin and look to a scenario where you're more in a supporting role. What does that mean? In most cases, if you identify your part as supporting a main focus, it means to leave enough dynamic space for that main focus to be the main focus. So have an ear out for everyone's projection, including your own, and adjust accordingly so that at the very least you're supporting the melody and definitely not overpowering it. In other cases, as a supporting musician, timbral and tone issues could come up. So be aware of your tone color. Make sure you're blending with the other accompanying instruments as you should be. And if you find your instrument or your tone seems to be getting in the way of the focus, regardless of dynamic, perhaps playing with a bit of a brighter tone or a bit of a warmer tone could help your instrument exist in its own space without clashing with the leader. A final thought would be that while I know we all need to read the music, if you are in the supporting role, eye contact is your best friend. The leader often will have a more involved part, so maybe very focused on sort of executing their leading gestures. And if you can, position your music stand or practice looking back and forth between your music and the leader, I guarantee you will start to gel more as an ensemble. So there you have a couple of ideas of how I think about this issue and how to put it into practice when approaching learning a new piece or rehearsing with a new ensemble. If you want to be systematic about all this, you can write it in before the first rehearsal. Whether you're leading, whether you're supporting, if things are in unison here, if these instruments are having a dialogue here. We must all learn our own part as it is, while understanding its function in relation to the rest of the piece. I think that's the moral of the story here. So I hope that gives you all some ideas as you start working with your ensembles, and I'm really looking forward to hearing some of you next month. Take care.